they have embarrassed the American tech industry.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, that just shows you how overinflated everybody's egos were with regards to the development of AI and the control of the Americans.
Project Stargate is a massive artificial intelligence initiative announced by President Donald Trump on January the 21st, 2025. It's a joint venture involving OpenAI, SoftBank, Oracle, and investment firm MGX. The project aims to invest up to $500 billion in AI infrastructure in the United States by 2029.
Yeah, look at that. 500 billion smackaroos. Like, that's a lot of money. And I get this stuff is like, it's energy intensive, and like you have to build big data centers and all this sort of stuff. So the infrastructure that goes into it is just next level. But like, that is a big nod to the geopolitical significance of the AI arms race. I know we don't like using that, or Kareem, it's not your term of choice, but like,
I recognize that it's still relevant, but
it's huge
within the compute power paradigm.
Like $500 billion of investment. Like, I know like America is a multi-trillion-dollar economy, but like, that's still a sizable portion of their GDP. That is huge in terms of like their vision. And this is day one of Trump's presidency. This isn't like something that he's done either behind closed doors. He had Sam Altman there, and he had him at the press conference, and I think he caught him off guard and was just like, all right, I want you to speak now, Sam. Sam was like, oh crap, I didn't think I had to say anything. I thought I had to just smile for the camera kind of thing.
Yeah, you got more money.
Yeah, well, basically that's all that Sam wanted. He just wanted more money kind of thing. Bigger is better, so throw more money at me, Trump, please. But like, they've announced that. And like, what has happened with DeepSeek is not just, hey, we've developed a model and we've done it without the resources that you have been putting forward, but we've been able to do it and wipe $1 trillion of value off the stock market. They have embarrassed the American tech industry.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, that just shows you how overinflated everybody's egos were with regards to the development of AI and the control of the Americans. For years, we've been hearing, and especially the last 6 months, we've been hearing, the Americans are like a few years ahead of the Chinese. And then like at the end of last year, right at the end of last year, it was just like, you had a few people coming out and they're just like, I don't think the Chinese are years behind. They might like actually only be a year behind, or not even that. And then lo and behold, by like I've looked at like the testing. Don't get me wrong, I don't actually know what the parameters are, but you see like the things they tested against, like how benchmark. Like all the factors that they like, how good it is with maps, how good it is with certain topics, how good it is with like having a conversation, and like all this sort of stuff. And like, it's up there, it's killing like OpenAI and like Gemini and Claude on like each of the variables. And so like, these are independent people that are testing it. And so like, it is rather embarrassing, I would say. And the fact that NVIDIA took the biggest hit there is interesting, because like, they've been sourcing all of the American companies who have been producing AI, and like, they haven't been able to meet the demand in terms of microchip production. And so like, people have basically lost $600 billion worth of faith in NVIDIA, because like, they were so backed up in terms of their supply of these people. They were worth so much money because, at least for the next year and a half or 2 years, they're going to have good business because everybody wants their microchips. But the question is, does everyone need their microchips now? And I think that's absolutely false. Of course, everybody still needs their microchips.
Exactly.
Of course they do. There is no way in the world that demand for NVIDIA's microchips are disappearing. Like, if anything, there's going to be more need for them now. So just like, I just want to point out that like, the Chinese really have just embarrassed the Americans on this. They've caught them with their pants down, and they've copped the hit on the stock market. But like, I don't see any of these tech companies disappearing. I don't see NVIDIA disappearing.
The hit's not permanent.
The hit's not permanent.
That's what tends to get blown out of proportion sometimes when we hear about these massive like stock price shifts is that like there tends to be an investor overreaction to news, because like I mean there's a whole bunch of stuff around investor psychology and how emotions get attached to it, and predictions of the future and stuff, but in general, you know, like markets will correct themselves over time, but they'll tend to overcorrect in the presence of groundbreaking news. So when we figure out that you know, hey, maybe these scaling laws, you know, weren't all they were cracked up to be, and there's other ways of actually improving AI. One of the things I was thinking about is I heard the Stargate project referred to as almost like the new Manhattan Project. Like in terms of this arms race that's being proposed between China and the US, and I think on one level, you know, the similarities are uncanny, because you know we recognized with nuclear proliferation, hey, this is a huge risk. Whoever gets out in front of it is going to have an abnormal amount of power relative to everyone else, so we can't afford to sort of, you know, fall behind the eight ball in terms of how this plays out. But like I was saying before, the thing that makes this AI arms race difference is this unprecedented level of collaboration that we're seeing between people that are actually working on this stuff. Like, you know, it's you know, I mean, in terms of like nuclear warfare, you know, there's not a whole lot of upside to that technology. Like, I mean, we can talk about nuclear power and you know, that goes in a different direction, but not a whole lot of upside that you can sort of point to as being, you know, we really need this stuff because it's for the betterment of society. You know, it was more about, how do we not lose power? Yeah. Like, how do we not fall behind in the power game? Whereas,
sorry to cut you off, but like, I like, do you genuinely believe that this is like a new Cold War? Because like, as we kind of established before, that this project Stargate has been around for at least a while. It's only like obviously officially announced recently, and you know, 3 or so months ago, DeepSeek was at least making the announcement that this was coming. So like, I guess the framing of it seems like it's a bit of a media beat up, like, you know, a mountain out of a molehill. Like,
it does. I think. Look, I think more so if you frame it in terms of cascading economic implications of having the best AI models. Like, if you've got the best compute, like the best access to computing resources, theoretically, you should have access to the best AI models. Although we proved with DeepSeek that's not entirely guaranteed, especially if you've got innovation on other fronts in AI. And there's no there's no shortage of innovations that are still to be had within the AI paradigm that can compensate for a lack of access to compute, like stuff that we just haven't figured out yet. But theoretically, if you've got the best models that can do the coolest shit, then the economic implications of those models are that your economy should be doing a whole lot better than the next economy. So if we're looking at power differentials, you know, from that perspective, it kind of makes sense to see it as an arms race, but it's really not entirely necessary, because we kind of all get the benefits of democratized AI anyway, particularly with the push for open source. And even if you've got the best model, like the second best model is still going to be a pretty damn good model anyway.
Yeah,
like,
right.
So it's not you know, it's kind of, you know, the Cold War we didn't need to have. Like,
did we really need to have the first one?
No, we didn't need that one. I just realized that as the words came out of my mouth.
I'm sure a lot of communists would disagree with you with
Yeah,
McCarthyism.
we need nuclear power. Yeah, my take is it's all getting trumped up a bit too much. I think it's getting blown out of proportion. This arms race stuff. I think at the end of the day, we're all going to be better for it anyway. Hopefully, all this money that we're spending on AI helps AI figure out how to solve all the other problems that we're not spending money on.